Hi, and thank you for joining this podcast. I'm joined in the studio today by Mr. Peter Maguwu from the Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST in Zimbabwe. Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gez, for having me.
Peter, you're very, very welcome. Now, Peter, for the listeners, could you tell us a little bit about the Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST and its great work there in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much, Gez. Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST, it's an all-female anti-poaching canine unit that was established in 2013 here in Zimbabwe. We are building a movement through anti-poaching efforts. Our goals are to protect life and natural resources while facilitating educational and employment opportunities for all women to learn as well as to be ambassadors of wildlife and conservation. We are more on the dog side of anti-poaching. After we have noted that there are quite a number of organizations within the country that are pushing anti-poaching efforts. On the ranger side, we decided to fill in the gap by bringing in this all-female anti-poaching canine unit to fill the gap that was missing within the anti-poaching equation. So, maybe people might want to hear why we have opted to go the ecofeminist approach to conservation. This is only because we believe that patriarchal societies and civil order exploited both natural and women according to the same male dominant framework. And also considering to our Zimbabwean society, we have also noted that girls and women have been left outside these anti-poaching matters. Hence, we also thought it's now the opportunity to bring these young ladies and women on the table to discuss and confront conservation matters from all angles. And so far, I'm very happy to say the idea is actually promising, and the women is also beyond reasonable doubt that indeed, when they are given the opportunity, they are able to execute. And it's more of like a multi-pronged approach which we are actually using. But I can say we are still more on the infant of implementing that approach in as far as anti-poaching is concerned. But we are determined that it will actually definitely bring results.
Peter, that sounds fantastic. Here in the United Kingdom, we've had a long battle for equality where women and men can stand on equal grounds. It's something that I've certainly seen within my own family. My great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother were called suffragettes, and these were protesters for equal rights and equality for women, equality with men. So I am sure what you're saying will resonate very well across the globe, and it's to be commended that you have a view and a vision for equality, and you're seeing the value that females can bring into the field. So that's something I think is very forward-thinking, and it sounds really exciting. Now, you have a lot of experience in the canine world. In fact, we recently interviewed Simon Mallin from the UK. He told us that you and he met quite some years ago in Iraq, I think in Baghdad. Is that right?
Yeah. Indeed, we met with Simon years back in Baghdad. We have been working together at Baghdad International Airport, doing the security work, and I was also into the K9. And from there, that's when we happened to build our relationship. Yes, along the way, we lost comms, but we managed again to regain and rebuild our communication. I think last year but one, and then we started communicating. That's when Simon get to know that I had started this movement, and he was so keen to come to Zimbabwe, and it was more of like his first time to come to Zimbabwe, and we started to brainstorm along the lines of having him come to Zimbabwe, and I'm very happy that by mid-September this year, he managed to come to Zimbabwe. And we have got a very long relationship within the canine industry and security in general.
That's fantastic. Certainly the security industry and definitely the canine element of the security industry is a very close-knit community, and everyone seems to know everyone and they all work together in a similar direction. You're all very much similar-minded people. Yeah. We spoke in a previous episode about a few organizations working in Zimbabwe. For example, the Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST and the Sebakwe Anti-Poaching and Conservation Group run by Sean. What's the connection between the two, Peter?
Yeah, with the Sebakwe Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST, we have got a very good relationship. Our relationship is actually solidified by the fact that we as Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST, we are the ones who are providing the canine unit that is being used within the Sebakwe Anti-Poaching Conservation Group, being run by Sean Wheeler. And that's more of like the relationship. We have got a standing MOU, and we have got currently we have got 3 dogs teams on the ground within the Sebakwe Conservancy. And Sean is he happened to be a very passionate wildlife person, and working hand in hand with me, it was so easy, considering that we happen to be all animal loving people, and it is that we are both determined to see change happening within the Zimbabwe conservation. So in short, guys, that's more of like our relationship. Sean is providing the boots on the ground, and Anti-Poaching Canine Foundation TRUST is also providing the canine element of the anti-poaching unit.
You said that you are supplying the dogs for the conservation group, and I believe you're also supplying the dogs for the forthcoming course in Zimbabwe. What breeds of dog do you use?
Definitely. We will be supplying the dogs for the next year anti-poaching canine training, and we'll be supplying the Belgian Malinois. Those are our favorite breeds, actually, basing on their facility and agility. Those are the dogs that we believe, considering our terrain here in Zimbabwe, they are able to manage and withstand the aggression that comes with poaching.
Certainly a well-proven breed of dog. Do you have any other breeds of dog there?
Yeah. We have got Dutch Shepherds and the Sables, but the Sable, they are now on a little bit old. Our approach is would like to use those 2 main, which is Belgian and the Dutch Shepherd.
What do you think about Simon's plan for the former hunting lodge and the tracking course for international students?
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea, in the sense that it also helps to, especially to the learners, they will learn to benefit more, in the sense that this is more of like a grounds-on or a hands-on type of training. The trainers will have the opportunity to do the actual tracking of real poachers, at the same time experiencing the bush life. And they also have an opportunity to see what is it about when we talk about poaching in Africa. And I think that will be a very brilliant idea. And at the same time, I think it also helps to put what we are doing together with Sean on the global map, in terms of having people coming to see all our efforts, and as well as understand where we are coming from, what we need to achieve, I think it's also very important, guys.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, previously to engaging with Simon on this project, I had no idea that there was so much poaching still occurring in the world, and I would never have considered Zimbabwe to have a problem with poaching. I've been to Africa quite a few times, and it's not something that I've ever really come across. So for people who've never been to Zimbabwe, again, they wouldn't have that consideration. But then looking at the evidence and the desolation that's brought to this country by poaching, wow, it's shocking the amount of damage that's being done. So certainly one of the benefits of this course is that people will be able to see firsthand the damage that's being done by poaching in Zimbabwe, and hopefully that could stir people to take action and bring about an end to this once and for all. Now, the Bushcamp being used for the forthcoming course certainly looks great in the pictures. But you've been there. What is it actually like there, Peter? Is it luxurious, or are we all in tents?
It's something that is meant for the bush environment. It's something where someone can live comfortably and get the job done. It's different from fence lodges in town. But yeah, I can safely say that people can have a nice sleep, have showers, and they can actually experience the good bush life, if I may say.
Peter, that sounds heavenly. It sounds wonderful. It has showers. I heard there was a bar there. I mean, this is great. I want to move there now and live there.
Yeah. I think it will be a very good experience, especially for the people who might be coming to Africa for the first time. It will be a very good experience, because it's more of like the lodge is actually in the middle of the bush. You have got the baboons, the monkeys close by, coming to say hello in the morning and say good night in the evening, sort of a thing. And it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. I think those who will be able to visit and come for the training, they will actually give testimony when they go back home.
That sounds amazing. It's quite unique. It's not something that many people have experienced, certainly here from the United Kingdom. And I really know that anyone going there would so enjoy it. With the forthcoming course in Zimbabwe, what will your involvement be in the course, Peter?
Yeah, my involvement will be more or less on the observation side of things. I understand very well from Simon, it's going to be a NANSUD accredited course. So I will be just there to observe and see how things will be done based on my experience here and there. I will also be able to assist and advise Simon accordingly. And I think that's more of like my basic role on that, making sure that things are being done accordingly and everything's going as per plan.
That's fantastic. I've never been to Zimbabwe. Indeed, I have been to some other countries in Africa, and I can sincerely say I absolutely adore the various cultures and history of these beautiful countries. From what I've seen, Zimbabwe will not disappoint on this front. One of the concerns, though, that people may have is in regards to the safety of the country. Is it safe in Zimbabwe and also at the Bushcamp?
Thank you very much, guys, for bringing that important question. But let me assure you that it will be very safe to be in Zimbabwe, especially considering that I also run a private security company, and I'm also a security practitioner myself. I work hand in hand with some security organs within the government, and the safety for the learners will be definitely be guaranteed. And at the launch, definitely we have put everything in place that might need to be, but it's not a place where someone has to worry about their safety, because it's something that is just in the middle of nowhere, and security will be actually very guaranteed within the lodge. I'm happy again to advise the people around the world that Zimbabweans by nature, they are peace-loving people and they are more welcoming. Yes, I cannot rule out that, yes, here and there we might have a rude element, but those should be left to be dealt with people like me. That's the other side of our planning, to make sure that we won't have a situation whereby we have to be confronted with those rude elements. But in general, Zimbabwe is a peace-loving country, and there is, I know in social media and so forth, people might be getting some negative readings, but it's totally different from what is actually on the ground. So the safety of the trainers will be definitely guaranteed, Gus.
Thank you, Peter. I think that will put many people's minds at rest. Certainly when I've travelled across Africa, I've found it to just be the best experience, totally safe, welcoming, friendly. And I know Zimbabwe is going to be exactly the same. And it's really reassuring to know that your agents and your company is there to support and to give that extra level of confidence and safety. I understand that you're in charge of the airport pickup and drop-offs. Is there anything that our customers should be aware of?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll be in charge of the pick and drop at the airport. What I'll just maybe highlight is that people might need to have an extra cash with them to just pay for their visas. We had some experiences where some international cards may fail to read on our point of sale machines at the airport. So maybe having a little bit of like $200 or $300 in cash just to cater for such kind of inconveniences is always advisable. But in terms of for security, everything will be fine. I will be at the airport well on time, making sure that everyone will arrive safely and will pick up, drop to the hotel. Everything will be taken care of with me being on the ground. Yes.
Peter, that sounds fantastic, and it's really good advice. I always travel with about $200 in my pocket. Anywhere in the world, it's a good currency to have with you. And I think certainly here in Britain and, well, throughout Europe, people are getting more and more used to living in a cashless society, just using their Visa cards and credit cards. But in Zimbabwe, I think it's very much a cash society, and it's the American dollar. Is that the currency that you use there?
Exactly. We are on the American currency.
That's brilliant. I understand the American currency well, and I do prefer it. For those listening, all they need to do is go to a bank or an exchange point in their home country and simply exchange their own currency for American dollars to bring with them. I think that's great advice. Now, Peter, how will the course and visitors benefit local anti-poaching and conservation efforts?
I think it will also give re-energizing effort on the ground, in the sense that you'll find that when the community hears that there are such kind of things that are happening, and we've got people who are coming as far as UK or as far as America or Canada to come and do such kind of training here in Zimbabwe, it inspires a lot of people. And at the same time, again, it will also add to give, it will also add in terms of value that will be given to these wild wildlife and wild animals, which I think will also then cascade down to our anti-poaching effort to say, I think these animals, they are very important. If they are being recognized by other people who are coming that far, what more about us who are in Zimbabwe? I think it will also give a different mindset towards poaching within the community. As organizations, I think it will also help us to be on the global line in terms of what we are doing here in Zimbabwe. So I think it actually helps, and it gives us energy and hope to continue, because I don't think that this is going to be the first and last, but it's just going to be the first one, which is going to generate more people coming and to continue doing such kind of trainings as well. So I'm actually looking forward to see how this training is going to attract the global attraction.
Yes, it certainly is so exciting to think that people will be coming from all over the world into Zimbabwe and into your home country, welcomed into your home country, and they're going to take back with them, back home, the stories of their adventure and what they've seen and what they've done and what they've learnt. So you're absolutely right. It's such a wonderful opportunity, not just for the people who are arriving on the course, but also for Zimbabwe as a whole. Now, people will be in the bush. They'll be living in a wildlife environment, a conservation area. Should people be concerned about wild animals? Now, I'm not just thinking about lions and tigers. I'm also thinking about spiders and snakes.
Yeah, definitely. Considering that you will be in the bush, obviously, here and there you might be able to come across a spider or a snake. Yeah, people, they just need to be, having a situation awareness of some sort whenever they landed. And I'm sure once the people arrived, we'll be able to discuss and iron some of those small things to look for. But in terms of big animals like leopards and lions, as you said, that it's not something that people need to be concerned about. We've got well-trained rangers there. We are also going to have national parks rangers as well. So I think everyone will be guided accordingly. But yeah, small insects like spiders, scorpions, yes, here and there you'll be able to pass them. But we never had an incident where someone has been bitten and hospitalized after being bitten by a scorpion or a spider within that area.
Absolutely. I understand that Simon is not a great fan of spiders or snakes, and that's quite common, I think, for many people from the West. On the training course, you have a medic that's coming with you. In fact, I'm the medic, and I'm certainly quite used to dealing with all kinds of injuries, and we have treatment sets for any potential bites or stings. But, I think a good practice of just clearing out the room, shaking bedding, using a mosquito net, it's never been a problem to me before, and I think a little bit of learning, everyone will be absolutely safe. Now, Peter, if we can talk a little bit about the poaching situation in Zimbabwe. I've looked at some of the pictures that I've been sent, and I've been looking at the really valuable work that's been going on with the anti-poaching, and it's heartbreaking to see the damage that is being done in Zimbabwe by poaching and the damage that's being done to the animals, the hurt that the animals are suffering as a result of this illegal activity. Peter, what can you tell us about the situation with poaching in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, to be frank with you guys, the way we are living today is simply not sustainable. The rate of poaching in this country is like on the rampant side. There are quite a number of factors that have also contributed. That is the cost of living, the unemployment, the level of corruption, you can name them. And all that is putting pressure to the wildlife. And people like right now, reference to the picture that you are talking about, you find out that we are actually in the poaching peak season because poachers are trying to get money for the Christmas and the Easter holidays come next year. And you find out that our teams on the ground, they're overstretched, resources on the limit side. And yeah, it's more of like a countrywide thing that everyone is trying to get whatever he can this time of the year to try to make a little bit of money. And at the same time as well, commercial poachers, they are also coming in armed with the guns. I think you saw there's a zebra that was shot about a few days ago. And those who are also poaching for subsistence, they are also on the rise now, just because of the factors that I've actually highlighted. But regardless of all that, our rangers are trying by all means to deter all the poachers from entering these protected areas and monitoring the animal activity. And the other thing that I also maybe didn't highlight is something to do with the El Nino induced drought. You find out that we are actually experiencing very warm temperatures at the moment, which is also driving animals from their own hideouts in search of drinking water, and at the same time exposing themselves to these poachers as well. So illegal wildlife poaching is on the rise and devastating, to be honest. But we hope we'll get strength each and every passing day and try to put our game on the notch. I think one way or the other, poachers have to be defeated. And with the little resources available, we need to keep on pushing and see how best we can put the situation under control, guys.
Absolutely, Peter. What are the poachers doing with the animals that they kill? I should imagine some for food, or are they taking the skin, the hides of the animals? What are they doing to generate the money?
It's now both ways. Some they are poaching for commercial, some they are poaching for subsistence. But you find out the most disheartening thing is that they are now resorting to use snares, and because snares, they are easily available and they can easily be made, they are making these snares in huge numbers. And in the process, you find out that some animals, they're just being killed and just being left there to rot because maybe the poacher won't remember where he put the snare, or maybe the poacher forget to come and check the snare. You get what I'm saying? And it's so devastating. It's only about a week ago, that's when we experienced these commercial poachers now coming in with the rifles, targeting especially the zebra as well as the giraffe. But they will be more of interested in both the meat and the skin. They skin the animal and they go and sell the skin, and the meat they will dry to make biltong for sale again.
Yes, it's terrible, and it has such an impact on the wildlife population of the country because it's being done to excess. It's just not sustainable, as you said. Now, Peter, the people who will be coming to the course, what kinds of clothing and or equipment or luxury items would you advise foreign customers to bring with them?
Yeah, I think in terms of clothing, hearing something that is a little bit warm, that is to say long shirts with long arms, pants, sunglasses, sunny hats, sunscreen is something that is actually recommended, considering the weather that we are actually experiencing at the moment. Things like binoculars, pocket knife is also advisable, provided they will be able to carry them through the airport, but you can easily put them in the luggage bag, I guess. It's something that is actually recommended. And I think on the shoes, it's also good to bring waterproof shoes as well. It's also advisable, and obvious sandals for when people are relaxing. You need something that will be able to cool you down.
Absolutely. Is the course next year is being run in the Zimbabwean summertime? Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So what kind of maximum temperature can we get with the midday sun in Zimbabwe?
Normally we look between 26 to about maybe 30, 34 degrees. But you find out that now with the climate change effects, Right now we are supposed to be in the rain season, but believe me, it's above 40 degrees, and there is no single drop of rain. And things are actually changing. So it's a little bit unpredictable, to be honest with you.
So it's very important for people coming into that environment to be prepared in all ways, to have sun-shaded hats, sunscreen, as you rightly said, and also to keep hydrated. I understand there'll be water on site, drinking water, so people will be able to take those fluids on board. It's quite difficult sometimes for people coming from far-off lands into a new climate. They have to acclimatise and get used to it. But it's a different type of heat, I've found, throughout all of Africa compared to the occasional hot and sunny day that we do have here in Britain. It's actually quite a pleasant heat at the best of times. Peter, that's fantastic. Is there anything else you think you can add that you think people might need to know about the anti-poaching efforts and also the training that's coming up?
Yeah, I just want to assure the people that they are more than welcome to Zimbabwe, and we are actually looking forward to have them on board, and they will also have the opportunity to see what we are talking about and what we are actually doing in terms of conservation. And I'm sure going forward we'll be able to build a very good relationship, as they also maybe appreciate what we are doing on the ground, because sometimes we find out that people happen to follow on our social media handles, and it's sometimes very difficult for people to believe some of the things that will be on social media. But I can actually say you are more than welcome to visit Zimbabwe, and ignore the negatives that you read on social media about the country and so forth, and just focus. And I assure you that your safety will be guaranteed. And this will be more of like a memorable training or a vacation, if I may say, coming to Zimbabwe.
Peter, that's brilliant. And I'm sure that you're going to make friends for life. The Zimbabwean people and the visitors to Zimbabwe, they will become friends for life, and people will just thoroughly enjoy their time there and also learn and help prevent this travesty that is the poaching. Peter, thank you so much for giving us your time today for this podcast.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you come next year.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Peter. Take good care.
Definitely. Thank you very much, guys. Take care and be safe.
Stay tuned for more interviews with the team members in Zimbabwe, and follow us to keep up to date with our progress in tackling the problems of poaching, as well as the superb training in tracking that will be taking place. To find out more information about this valuable work and the forthcoming training, contact Mr. Simon Mallin directly on his website, www.simonmallin.com. That's Simon, MALLIN.com, or search Simon Mallin Canine Training and Consultancy and social media such as Facebook. That's all for now for this podcast. Join us again for our next installment as we speak to some of the other team members from this exciting project.